In my book, Supercharge Your Website Traffic, it goes over 4 types. I believe that nearly all, if not all, website traffic strategies can be fit into these 4 categories of inbound organic, partnership, outbound organic, and paid ads. So we're going to look at just one strategy from each of those today, and I'm just going to show you how to do it. If you got the scorecard downloaded from my website, then you can follow along. If you didn't, I don't have an assistant to help me put links in. So if you're watching this after live, then there'll be a link. Um, so yeah, I'm just going to show you these 4, but there's a lot of different strategies within each of these categories. You don't have to use these particular strategies that I'm showing you today, but we're going to start off with the inbound organic, which happens to be my own personal favorite. And that is things like social media posting, SEO. SEO, search engine optimization, it takes time to work, but it helps to bring people to your website passively, automatically when you're coming up in website searches. So I have a pretty neat blogging tool that I like to use, and I am going to try to share my screen and show you how it works. It is pretty unique, but I'm going to start with a different one. It's a multi-layered process. It pays off. I find it worth it. But again, if you're following along, you can decide whether producing a ton of content to draw people to you is the type of strategy that you want to be doing. So I also need to occasionally check and see if there's comments. So do feel free to leave comments and I can respond to them after a bit of a delay and when I check them. So let's try to share the screen. Cool. Okay. And I have some of this stuff set up in Safari. Okay, so this is the tool I'm going to be showing you in a minute that helps me to write quickly ranking blog posts. But first, with this tool, you kind of have to know already what words you want to be found for, and you usually need a keyword research tool for that. So over here, I've pulled up one of many keyword research tools, and we're just going to put in a keyword that I work with to get us an idea of something that people are interested in that I can then write a ranking blog post around. So I'm just going to put in website traffic. And I have it set to United States, New York City. I put it at Boston, but it went back to New York City. It's fine. And it will take a few minutes. And you see it has a few free credits each day. So if you're doing a high volume of these, you can't use it for free. But right now I'm using it for free because it's just a couple searches here and there. Okay. Now, what does it look like if I download it? Well, you can upgrade for those things. Okay. PNG. Okay, I hope I didn't do something that is going to cause it to take a long time. But it's just, I can't figure out how to see all of the things. And boy, this better work because otherwise I've run out of all my free credits. Now I'll have to use a different service. Let's check for comments while I'm waiting for that to work. I hope that doesn't bump it out. You never know. This is an old computer. I need a new one. Where am I? Over here. Okay. It looks like the screen share is working, so that's good. I'm glad you're able to see that. And no comments right now, so okay. This is not working as intended. That's neat. Great. Okay, well, I don't think going back is going to help me because I think that's going to make me use my credits. Dang it. Come on, let me see it again. Okay, you see it again. Okay, so see, I tried to do this Zoom thing before, but I don't know. It doesn't say you need to have an upgrade account to do that. So from website traffic, something branches up here that it's not letting me see. But how can I check website traffic? And then that goes into all of these other things. So I'm going to use these as inspiration for what I want to write my blog post about. And then I'm going to show you this Rank IQ service that is pretty cool. And no, it is not AI. It was around before AI. It seems like you should be able to drag it, and yet no, nothing. No response. Okay. How do I get traffic to my website? That's a pretty on the nose question for what I do. Is incomes accurate? How to get organic traffic? I like that one. How to check website traffic on something that I can't see. Check traffic on competitors. What are the 3 types of website traffic? Well, that certainly is pretty close to my book, except for that I say there's 4 types. I used to say 3, then I broke it out into 2 types of organic, inbound and outbound. How to increase website traffic? Which type of website? No, does website traffic make money? That might be an interesting one at some point to show how you monetize the traffic that you're getting. But I think I'm going to go with how to get organic traffic. Okay, so I'm going to come back over to Rank IQ and put that in. How to get organic traffic. Hopefully they know that it has to do with websites, but I imagine so. I could do without the Bible quotes as I am Hindu, but oh well. It's fine. So this process does take a little bit of time. So I'll just pop back over to here. Okay. It is processing. All right, there it is. How to get organic traffic, content targets, Google rankings analysis. Okay, so it is suggesting that you can rank pretty fast. Sometimes it will say ultra fast and super fast. So fast is not the fastest, but that's fine. And fast in terms of this is still months. And what it's saying here is that you want the word count to be above this. That is to make it longer and more authoritative than other blog posts on the topic. And A plus means using a bunch of different phrases that it is going to tell us. So these are like related keywords that help it to come up together. Topics that Google likes to see in posts on this topic. And then these are some new tools that they've just added pretty recently where you can try to get a good title and it will give you a grade and it suggests some stuff there. Top rankings for competitors. So it shows some of the titles from competitors and what their domain authority is and what their page authority is. So that's more specific. Domain authority, whole website, page authority, that particular page. Referring domains, the number of backlinks, basically. And referring no follow domains, unique domains linking to a specific page that are no follow links. Oh, I didn't really track that. Okay. So this one is doing quite well. The domain authority on this one is, oh, it's Reddit. Yeah. Reddit always ranks high. Okay, so gives us some ideas. Here's some highly graded content in the search engine results page for this topic. And you can see how many words they are. So we're going to try to beat their words. Okay. So let's see what we can do in terms of the title. Oh, maybe we just want to start with what I actually put in, how to get organic traffic. To get organic traffic. Yeah, likes that all right. Okay, it likes that one. Good number of characters, A plus. using a bunch of these words. I don't know if we want it, do we want it to be exactly how? I could put something like proven ways to get more organic. How much proof could there be in 2025? It's only a few months in. It's just such an appealing word. Yeah, now it's a little bit too long. Mm. Only I could say proven how to. How to get more organic traffic, how to increase organic traffic. I'm going to stop overthinking it. I'm going to leave it there. Okay. So now what we do is we come over to Content Optimizer up here. And right now there's nothing in here, so our grade is F and our words are 0. And I don't know why I put the copy the title. I don't really need to do that. It's gonna show up over there anyway. But yeah, I think I won't do that. So all of those words that it mentioned, those keywords that Google likes to see together, are over here in this super long list. And to get the grade from F to A plus is using these words. So it's going to slowly go up as we use these words. And as they start getting checked off, then we can switch to the unused because it's going to start getting like harder to find those. So you can narrow it in. So that's how I write blog posts. Now, I'm not going to sit here and write the whole blog post now because it would take me a while to write 2,000 words, but I am ready to get started now. So I have these things that will help to guide my outline for how I'm doing it. And when I finish writing it, I will be really certain that I've written a top-notch blog post that is going to get ranked relatively quickly. So I'm going to save that, even though there's nothing there, I probably won't save. So when I go back to the homepage on Rank IQ, then it shows me some stats and goals. And they have a Facebook group, but I'm not on Facebook, so I haven't checked it out. And these are some of the other ones that I have been working on and some that I finished, like this, how to write a novel using the snowflake method. And I use so many keywords, I got A++. Competition, visits, fast, blah, 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 blah. Or no, why is it a dash? Anyway, and then I can put my URL in here just because. It also has a way to audit when you connect to your Google Search Console account, which I have not done recently. I thought I connected it at some point, but I'll go back to that eventually. So that is method number 1 that we are talking about, is the writing a blog post to rank organically to bring in people through search. That is an inbound organic method. Organic just means that it's not paid for. And inbound means that you are kind of placing things around and letting people discover you. So it's like you posting to your blog and writing on your website and posting on your social media profiles. It's like if those are your lawn, you're putting up like lawn signs, like, check it out, I have cool stuff here. And people walking by go, oh, interesting. They come closer. So you're drawing people to you. That's inbound. Now, method number 2 is outbound. That is when you are reaching out to people. It works faster because you are literally just like reaching out and saying, hi there, would you like to blah, 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 blah. A lot of times you don't want to lead with the ask. So you're reaching out to people. This is usually cold outreach. Not always. You could have warmed people up. Outbound organic could be, send writing messages individually to people who have already commented on something of yours, people who are not completely cold, meaning that they don't know you, they've never heard of you. But for the most part, it's going towards somebody and asking them directly for something. It's sending proposals. And if you start the conversation, trying to work the conversation around to like, I would like to offer you this thing. And so it's tricky to get it right. I think we all know that cold is a strategy that is challenging for a lot of people. Some people are great naturals at it, and some people are not. And I know that I can really sense pretty quickly when somebody is leading up to they want to make an ask. So it's very challenging to get the balance right because, I hate it when I connect with someone on LinkedIn and they instantly send an auto message about their product. And I don't know you. You don't know me. You don't know that I need your product. But then on the other hand, if somebody reaches out and goes, hey, it's like, what? What? What do you want? Or, you can sort of feel that leading conversation. So we're going to try to get the balance right. This is not something that I do often, but we are going to send some messages on Instagram. So I participate in a book marketing bingo game where we set up our bingo cards with our marketing tasks on Monday. And one of the suggestions on the bingo card was to send messages offering a mini checklist freebie to people. However, I did create the checklist and I started to set up the funnel. It is not finished. It is not even finished enough to offer it. And I also kind of prefer not to lead with an ask like that. So I'm kind of just playing this by ear, but I think what I want to do is go to people who are following me and start conversations. So, followers. Can't see a whole lot about them yet, can we? This person sent me a voice message I haven't listened to yet. Having a little trouble seeing what this page is actually about. I guess it would help if I read the top 5% method hosted by. Okay, so it's a podcast. I'm going to learn a little bit about them first, just to have something to open up a conversation with. Replying to stories is a great way to get a conversation started, actually, because you have this here and it sends it straight to their inbox. Okay, so you can see this isn't a script, this isn't a copy paste, this isn't a strategic. I'm just honestly responding to something here, just starting a conversation, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to do a few of those, and if it feels natural to make some kind of like, would you like to check out my freebie, then I will. But we'll see. And again, if you have any questions about traffic in general or about this showdown happening, which was also a suggestion from the bingo card, by the way, please do let me know. Put it in the chat box, and I will go back and check that every once in a while. Okay, so this is another low followers, but they have a story, so they are active. Women's first financial education coaching company. And there you go. Oh, yeah. That's a good one. More info on psychology of money. Check out our newsletter linked below. That's a good call to action there. Nice. Learn the secrets of rich people. Take a quick look at that. Okay, so that doesn't link to the newsletter, does it? That links to a blog post. Okay, here it is. Start your financial journey today. Exclusive educational content. It's an okay call to action, but not super, not super impactful. Let's do. Okay, let's see what's going on in the story. Yep. I'm also a millennial over 40. Okay, I don't really have anything to say to that one, but this one, yes. I'm already on there. I need to check. Nope. I need to check. Warning, the stream's crashed. Practice. And there, excellent connection. Okay, still no comments, so. I have lights. Sorry, I'm back. Okay. Ah. Thought I had a way to mute that. Look at that. So much better. Okay. I don't know why that was going on. Okay, hi Poppy. Are you joining us? I'm gonna pick a traffic strategy. Hi, you wanna say hello? Oh, hello, hello. This is Paddles. The best. She's making appearances in lots of my videos. Okay, back. I'm gonna do two more, probably just starting conversations and not pitching anything. We'll see.
Where do you want me to put these?
No, she did send me. Hi. Well, I'll listen to those later. I don't like voice messages, but I guess it proves that they're real or something like that. Doesn't prove anything anymore. Let's see. Coach. Okay, she doesn't have any active stories, but she has at least one. I just actually had someone on my podcast about human design, and it has not published yet because I'm behind in editing. I'm getting next a blogging one. I guess I could try out asking a leading question like, how's the traffic going for you? Maybe I'll try that out on this person. This is why people don't like cold message people. It really is helpful, I promise. Branding is pretty inconsistent here. What have you got in stories? Take up space because you matter. What's that? I don't like that. Good leading question. All right, so that is traffic strategy. Number 2, the outbound organic, where you actively go and pursue people. And it can be starting conversations. It can be sending a proposal. I get a lot of these in my inbox from people who have gone to my YouTube channel and said, they send me a message that says, wow, it looks great, but could be better. I can help you, that kind of thing. Sometimes it can work. I have more information about that in my book too, about how to do that sort of thing really strategically. So for the third traffic strategy of the night, we are doing a partnership. So I made notes so I wouldn't forget. Yes, we're going to see about doing a newsletter swap as a partnership. And I picked this one because a lot of partnership things you kind of need to develop and build up the relationships so that you have collaborative partners and referral partners to work with. So I have done that. I do a lot of networking. I go to virtual networkers, which I love. I can leave a link for that. They have some special bonuses actually for signing up in May. And an introductory meeting. Yeah, so there's stuff about them. Um, so I do have that, but I wanted to kind of show you something that's starting with less of a relationship so that you can really see it just work faster, I guess, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is actually go over to bookfunnel.com, which I have a rant video about this not actually being a funnel, as I make a lot of book funnels, and book funnels is where I got started in my business. And this does not do what a book funnel needs to do, but it does do some useful things anyway. So the main thing that I find it very good for is, oh puppy, that is not a dog toy. No, 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 leave that alone. That is Priya's slipper. You can't have that. Oh, I need a new password. Ugh. Hey, I said leave it alone. No, not a dog toy. Oh, I wonder that. I wonder if that one will work. Exactly. Oh, yeah, that one did work. Huh. Didn't exactly want this account because this one is my fiction writing account. But on, I think the level that I have with these, with this doesn't, you can't have very many books and different, like if you sign up for some of the other stuff, you can integrate more. But what I find really nice here is the group promos. So let's see. This is basically getting promoted in a newsletter, and then author swaps is swapping a shout out in a newsletter. So this is clearly very specific to authors and books. And I don't know of a service like this for newsletter swaps in other types of businesses, but if you do, please do let us know. I would really appreciate knowing that. But I think you can also like reach out to people and say, hey, I have a newsletter, you have a newsletter, do you want to swap? You know, followers on your Instagram, people on LinkedIn, you could ask for that. And it's kind of a mixture traffic strategy, a little outreach. Okay, so these are showing some swaps that are available. It's just things that would be mentioned. These ones are features. Multicultural, interracial. We do have a contemporary romance interracial, but it's not linked on this account. Sending out a newsletter Thursday, May 15th. That's tomorrow. Wants to swap ebooks with wide authors. Okay, so that means that they are not only on Amazon. Offering a mention with other books, 2 spots out of 3 available. Want to swap sales pages. And these are her books that you would be putting in your swap. So this is a place where you can get um, some people that you can collaborate with for a partnership traffic. Let's see what's under business, and that seems unlikely. Really? It is more for fiction. I believe Story Origin also does a similar thing with books. But something that I did recently was, I go back to Instagram, I did reach out to some of the people that I'm close with in networking to ask if we could shout out each other's books over stories. So I do have a confirm on that. So that is also a way to do a partnership thing. Partnership also covers like affiliates and referral partners, and there's a ton of different online networking groups you can go to meet lots of people that you can become partnered up with and help each other out. And especially if you find people who have like complementary businesses to what you do, that they aren't competing directly with you, but do things that your audience would also find very useful, that can be a super powerful way to partner up. Getting on people's podcasts, great way to spread your message. A whole lot of the book Traffic Secrets is dedicated to that borrowing someone else's audience concept of you don't have to build up an audience of 1 million if you can get endorsed by somebody in your field who has an audience of 1 million. So that is, a pretty advanced strategy that Russell Brunson employs and can be powerful even in smaller doses too. So I will consider that it for the partnership section. So the final thing that we have is the paid. And you don't have to use paid traffic. You don't have to use ads. But I hate to see people really looking down on ads as well, because there's nothing wrong with using your money to generate more money through leading people to your funnel with ads. If you're getting a return on investment to your ads, then fantastic. That creates a great little machine chugging along for your business. A lot of people struggle with getting the return on investment. Ads can take a lot of budget to test and try things and find what's working. And I personally have absolutely no stomach for risk, so I really struggle with doing ads. I did have a Meta Ads manager on my podcast a little while ago, so her interview is up on my YouTube channel that you can listen to learn more about how you know that when you're ready to run ads and some of the things that you should know before you do and stuff like that. But one of the simple types of ads that I do feel comfortable doing is promoting Pinterest pins. So I am going to pick one of these to a freebie, which is a quiz, and I'm going to put a little bit of money behind it to raise the visibility. And do a refresh. I only posted these today. That's why the numbers are so low. So it's hard to pick which one to do. And I just started a new account because I have an account under Financially Free Author. Start a new one for Website Traffic School just to be more focused, because the Financially Free Author one, I've got all kinds of like, oh, and I also like crafting, and I also like hairstyles, and I also like vintage clothing. So it's gotten a little messy and unfocused. So still building this one up. These are pretty even. I think I'm going to choose this one. I always like to check the ones that come around it to make sure that they are similar themes, to make sure that the algorithm on Pinterest understands what this is about. Okay. Middle of funnel. That's a good topic. I should write about that topic too. Tons and tons and tons of funnel stuff with that same diagram. That's fine. Okay. So let's see. I thought I had another way to get to it, but I am going to go to the Business Hub. I am getting a ton of stuff around this. Should sellers leave Etsy, which was my plan, except that I'm getting a whole lot of hits for people saying how to buy things on Etsy, which is like not what that is at all. Okay, so focus, focus. What are we doing? Turn your pins into ads. Exactly. That is what I'm trying to do. Main objective. Ooh, why don't I only do that? You can choose this objective once you've recorded at least one checkout conversion in the last week. Oh, I have to like install stuff that I haven't installed. I did install the Pinterest tag, but there's like more code that has to be installed and bleh. Okay. So I guess we're doing consideration. Select pins. I'm going to select this pin. And it goes there. Interesting. Yeah, I don't have that set up either. By the way, I need to do a video on, I tried LinkedIn ads, and because LinkedIn is where my best clients are, but LinkedIn ads are expensive. That budget disappeared in the blink of an eye. So I did want to write about that. Let's say I'm gonna change this part to and for please. That's just for my own reference. Okay, campaign goal, click on ad. Age restrictions. I guess not. Sometimes I'll set the age to be like, above 25 or something, because probably teenagers don't have funnels that they need to troubleshoot, but hey, I could be wrong. So here's where we're going to set our budget. What do I want to do here? On campaigns for at least 10 days. Ooh, how much money is that going to be if I did 10 days? Because my bingo card said to do $25, but I don't think $25 is going to make it very far here. I do usually increase impressions a lot for very little money here, but okay, you're not going to actually show me the math there, even though 5 times 10, very simple, 50. So, and I can't go any lower than that. Oh, no, I can. There we go. Okay. I recommend at least 7, but I don't know. It's got to be one or the other of these things. So let's say 3 for 10 days. See what that does. Oh, and I've run ads on my other account. I haven't done it on this one, so I'm gonna have to do this after I stop the live stream because I am not going to be showing you that part of it. Okay, so that is the traffic showdown. That is 4 different ways that you can get traffic to whatever you're promoting online. And each one of them falls into one of the 4 types of traffic that I talk about in my book, Supercharge Your Website Traffic. Now, this book has a ton more ideas on each of those. So, like you can see in the table of contents, it's like part 1, partnership. Here's a whole bunch of different stuff about partnership and different ways that you can utilize that as a traffic source and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to take a little bit of time to show you a little taste of what each of them are. So I would love to hear which one you thought was the one that won in your own heart, which one you would feel comfortable trying, what you would want to do, any questions that you have, any concerns, comments, thoughts about these different kinds of website traffic. I am all ears, so definitely post any questions and let me just run it over and check and see if anybody has. I don't think you have. Okay, yep. No more comments as far as I can tell there. So I will go ahead and end it there. I'm going to add links in the description for the things that I talked about here. And again, would love to get any thoughts, questions, concerns, ideas that you've got. Let's start a conversation.